Prosím, že fotbal není studiozismus, takže to se nás nevěnuje, že se nás ználo. Děkujeme. Doufám, že se nás slušíte, že budou nezastupitelné vývody a vzájemného respektu. Před takovým ještě svým. The head coach, Norway, has chosen the following lineup of the United zvolil následující sestavu. Number 1 číslo 1 Selma Panexuela. Number 2 číslo 2 George Sesworth. Number 3 číslo 3 Selma Peterson. Number 5 číslo 5 Selma Levis. Number 6 číslo 6 George Roger. Number 8 číslo 8 Irene Kendall. Number 10 číslo 10 Kamila Hunter. Number 11 číslo 11 Thea Kipper. Number 20 číslo 13 Maria Keke. Number 19 číslo 19 Sina Presta. Number 20 číslo 20 Mama Pekru. Number 17 připravující přidání slovo. Number 12 číslo 12 Tudno Erkas. Number 4 číslo 4 Aya Elsa. Number 7 číslo 7 Stina Berger. Number 9 číslo 9 Irves Komarsdottir. Number 14 číslo 14 Kourová. Number 15 číslo 15 Oda Lumonsen. Number 16 číslo 16 Ingeborg Strednik. Number 17 číslo 17 Emma Iversen. Number 18 číslo 18 Cassandra Lučka. Kontrolní příhodný je bude Lise, a vedou vlastně je Lise. Dobře kouč Francouz has chosen the winner of the francouzskou ligu zvolil následující sestavu. Number 1 číslo 1 Ines Marquez. Number 2 číslo 2 Marion Heverly. Number 4 číslo 4 Jane Aristotle. Number 5 číslo 5 Carlos Serra. Number 8 číslo 8 Ines Zvida. Number 10 číslo 10 Adia Benata. Number 11 číslo 11 Ariane Fontaine. Number 12 číslo 12 Nesrina Klandoui. Number 15 číslo 15 Faustine Opera. Number 19 číslo 19 Ines Demianga. Number 20 číslo 20 Mieli Kapova. Desátkový znám, připravující na slovo. Number 16 číslo 16 Emma Franka. Number 4 číslo 3 Ila Leto. Number 6 číslo 6 Ola Geller. Number 7 číslo 7 Madeleine Jutta. Number 9 číslo 9 Laura Livakarina. Number 14 číslo 14 Maja Lorena. Number 17 číslo 17 Julie Corbett. Head coach of Team France is Sabrina Richter. Trenér v Francii je Sabrina Richter. The officials wrote the English are Rozliční přístup zápasů jsou referee of the match, hlavně rozličí mezi Zandbergem, Florence a Christensen. Children assisted by cestovní výboru. Despoja Dimosferos Cyprus is the Representative z Cypru. And Emmanuel Macron z Island. A fourth official is Czechoslovakia Natalia Cyprus from Hungary. Natalia Cyprus z Maďarska. The real factor of this match is głównym pościągami terminala Antyborowicz, Czerwosła i Hercegovina.
OK, tak budeme tady, připravíme se, roztáhneme už tu vlajku, jdeme s roztaženou vlajkou, pojďme. víš, že ona mi řekne 10 Bacha, Luky. Always. Ty tam přijdeš za mnou? Jo, nevím, jak si dohrál hodinu, tak tam zase nejde.
It's semi-finals day at the UEFA Women Under-19 Championships, and after a dramatic conclusion to the group stage, Norway and France meet in Karvina. The Nordic nation recovered from a 4-1 defeat to England to beat both Germany and Sweden to win Group B, while the French had to settle for a runners-up position to Spain in Group A after the two nations played out a tense 1-1 draw on Sunday. That was enough to see off the challenge of Italy. France are the reigning champions, looking for their 6th title in this age group. Norway have been to the final 4 times, but have never lifted the trophy. And here are the anthems. And good support for both teams here in Karvina. Norway perhaps were surprising winners of Group A, and the French came through a very good game against the Spanish to ensure that they are also here today in the Final Four. And it's been a very good summer for age group teams right across the French system. Oda Johansson came on to score the goal, which ensured they would win the group against Sweden, but she remains on the Norway bench. Iris Omesdottir is surprisingly left out, with Ina Birkelund making her first start of the tournament, and Irene Dierdal replaces Stina Brecken in midfield. The men's under-17s have already won their European Championship for France, and their women's under-19 side looking to follow that example. Norway are a team who often do well in these tournaments but have never lifted the trophy. Lissy van der Helm of the Netherlands is our referee. Louis Jade Rastocle of France is their captain. And it's the midfielder Julie Jorda with the armband for Norway. And the pennants are eventually exchanged. Sandrine Ringlet makes 5 changes to the team, which drew with Spain to clinch France's semi-final place. Lyon midfielder Ines Ben Yahia comes into a reshaped midfield, along with Faustine Banatar and Ines Kibiba. Marion Helvan comes in for the suspended Margot Veron at right back, and Normie Mouchon displaces Luna Ribadera in attack. Iris Omesdottir scored Norway's goals in their win against Germany. Luna Ribadera was France's top scorer in qualification. Ines Ben Yahia comes from a winning mentality with Lyon. Alongside her teammate Nazreen Balouli, Selma Hagestøyen has been a very good goalkeeper for Norway so far. And it's a big day for Ina Birkelund. Only one brief appearance from the bench so far, but she is the main starting striker for Norway. Spain await the winners in the final following their 1-0 win over Sweden earlier today, and it's Norway in the pale blue shirts defending the goal away to our left in the first half. Pedersen. Norway lost their opening game 4-1 against England, but recovered really well to then come from behind and beat Germany in a notable victory. And they beat Sweden with that spectacular late goal from Oda Johansson. She said she was surprised to score it like that, and I don't think she was alone in that, but it was such a crucial one to ensure that Norway eventually won the group. Helga Riise has seen it, done it and won it in football at the highest level, winning the European Championships, the World Cup and the Olympics for Norway during that golden period in the 1990s. And Sandrine Ringlet, also a former French international. She's been part of the national coaching program now at the Federation for nearly 20 years. Then you're here. Norway will work extremely hard in midfield, and it was Kabiba who was close down there. Plays for Orléans in the third tier of the French league. Vierdal losing out, and then Yahia has been fouled by Kaibak, so it will be a free kick for France. They opened up in the opening game of the tournament with a 3-0 win against the host nation, the Czech Republic. And they then conceded very late on to draw 2-2 with Italy and held off Spain in what was a very good 1-1 draw on Sunday to eventually be runners-up to them, and they'll hope to meet them again in the final on Saturday. And if France can go all the way in this tournament, they would match Germany's record of 6 titles, and they will be the most successful team under this format, winning their first title back in 2003. They beat Norway in the final. They've also overcome England twice, Spain and Germany. And they have won 2 of the previous 4 Euros. Beating Germany 2-1 in Scotland 3 years ago, and 2 players who have gone off to shine at the highest level. Melvin Malar and Sandy Baltimore are amongst the goals. Aminata Diallo, Kariatou Diani and Claire Labouguet amongst those who shot in 2013, and Grace Guioro, Marie-Antoinette Katoto, and Delphine Cascarino among the more recent products from the French Academy who have gone on to shine at the very highest level. And this is the 4th semi-final reached by France across the European competitions for both men and women this summer. And the women's senior team, of course, will be shortly kicking off their challenge in England in the European Championships, which begins later on today. A crowd of over 70,000 will be at Old Trafford for England against Austria. But we're already at the semi-final stage in the UEFA Women's Under-19 Championships. And France have dominated possession early on, but Norway already showing their durability, and they will try and break the ball forward towards Birkelund. She plays in the 2nd tier of the Norwegian league, but they do have a number of players who feature on a regular basis in the top tier. Norway have enjoyed a better record over France in European Championships, losing only once of the previous 7 meetings, winning 3 of them. And these 2 sides drew 3-3 back in 2019. France led 3 times in that group match, but were pegged back on each occasion. Benate losing out. Brunstad with plenty of time at the base of the midfield, and Norway will always tend to have at least one midfielder just in front of the back 4. They do have pace in attack. Kaibag on this near side, and she's looking for the pass now, and she receives it from Serbo, but that's good defending. Rostokla getting across to make the challenge. That's beyond Tamberg. It's Marquez, the French goalkeeper, part of the Paris squad in the D1 Arkema, the main competition in France. Team which were the best of the rest behind Lyon and Paris Saint-Germain this season. Sorbu just putting Pedersen under pressure, but Paddingstoin comes out to take care of the situation. Rastokle. Seven. Baluli coming very deep. Baluli scored the goal against Spain, which ultimately sent the French through in their final game. Has been on the bench for Lyon in the UEFA Women's Champions League this season. Fontaine. It was in the throw-in, but Norway will get the ball straight back. Luvas back to Pedersen. Sorbu. There has been very little change to Norway's back four throughout the tournament. Kaibag looking to use her pace, but it's beyond her this time. Salma Pedersen has played every minute so far. Rastokle. Put out by Pedersen. Kabida. And Norway are really pressing hard in midfield at the moment. And as a result, France are finding it difficult to create too much. Kaibag. Rastokle comes across. And did that ball go out? It did. Norway have the throw-in, and we've seen they are very proficient from set pieces already in this tournament. And you hear he's back to defend, but around the French are retreating here, but it's short to Tanberg. And then you hear breaks things up, and France have the throw-in. Norway have been to the final on 4 occasions, most recently in 2011 when they lost to Germany. And they were beaten by the French in 2003. Grenier here was just pulled back there by Serbo. Did not look like potential semi-finalists in their opening game when England's finishing was devastating, but it's a quirk of football that they got better the longer the tournament went on, and England rather tailed off, and they finished bottom of the group in the end. Norway, who lost 7-0 to Germany in a warm-up game, memorably beat them here in a match which Germany dominated, but the finishing of Iris Almos-Dottir was just enough in the end. There's a French player down on the far side as Baluli continues on the left. Kabida. Eventually the ball will be played out, but the player on the far side, Ben Yahia, is actually off the field of play. But the manner of that doesn't look too good, and the referee will just head across to have a look. Here was clattered into by Serbo. It was a very quick apology, but it was late. But it's an early chance for extra fluids to be taken on. It is not as warm here today as it has been earlier in the tournament, but temperatures still around 23 degrees Celsius, and the yellow card was out there from Lizzie van der Helm. And it was shown to Thea Sorbu. She will have to manage that in the remaining 78 minutes or so. One of the players brought in by Sandrine Ringlet for this game. Ben Yahia was another. And she featured on 5 occasions for Lyon in the French league this season, as they reclaim their title from Paris Saint-Germain. Also scored as well. Helevan, Mouchon, Ben Yahia. Things just breaking down for France in the attacking third at the minute. France won their first title back in 2003. They played Norway, and it was a 2-2 draw in the group stage. Elise Passalia scored a late goal to equalise for France. They had a team packed with talent. Bouhadi in goal, Tommy, Santine also featured. Mara Mielda and Eugenie Le Sommer were both on the score sheet when they met the following year in a 1-1 draw. Mielda, of course, with Chelsea, and Le Sommer with Lyon, although not selected for France for the Women's Euros. Balouli. She was away from the first challenge. Louvas was reluctant to really dive in there. And the flick from Benate, but Norway will eventually clear, and that's been the story of the game so far. Sevet. And now Fontaine. Another player who has seen action at the highest level in France last season for Paris. And it's her 4th successive start in this tournament as Sevet commits the foul on Tandberg, and Norway have the free kick. And Jorda is over it. And we have often seen Norway really pack the penalty area and try and crowd the goalkeeper in situations like this. Plenty of movement, and it's deep, and the French deal with it initially. Kabida, Balouli, once she's given the ball away, Kaivag, and it was met by Seven. Now Benate. And that's a good ball. Ben Yahia. Mouchon. Which will try and go beyond Luvas for pace. It's a cross into the area, which is defended well by Pettersson. Ben Yahia's shot is blocked. And then the follow-up is wayward in the end. But the French there showing their threat on the breakaway. That was the resultant shot, but Batala with the effort on goal. Faustine Batala featuring for the first time in the tournament today, having been on the bench and stayed there during the group stage. Plays for Saint-Etienne, a team who were relegated from the top flight in France last season. Luvas, Berkelund, and there was no one waiting for the pullback. Luvas will take the throw-in. Tanberg. Again, Norway did not really have the bodies inside the penalty area. Fink. Now Pettersson. That central defensive partnership has been untouched by Helgarisa throughout the tournament. Ben Yahia. Surbo this time with a perfectly timed challenge. Penningstoyn. Kabida. Ben Yahia. Benate. Ronstadt was back there defending as that screen in front of the back four once again. But the orders break out from defence was quickly halted. Here is Ben Yahia once again. Mouchon showing a pace once again. But the cross was cut out by Pettersson. Nomi Mouchon scored a crucial winner against Sweden in qualification to ensure that Spain came through. Here was an opportunity for Tanberg. Runs into Rastoclet. Luvas will be beaten to that by Fontaine. Fontaine has got support from Baluli, and she was hoping that Fontaine was steaming forward on the overlap, but not this time. France did play in the Czech Republic during the first round of qualification. They were mainly based in Ostrava, which is the venue for the final on Saturday. And they beat Greece, the Republic of Ireland, and the Czech Republic very comfortably. And they went to Serbia for the qualification round, and it was tighter there. 2-0 wins against the host nation and Iceland, and that 1-0 success against Sweden we were talking about a moment ago. Norway also had a very tight game, which they had to win to clinch qualification against Austria when they were the away side, but they managed a 1-0 success after big wins against Ukraine and Bulgaria. And they hit 7 past Azerbaijan in the first round of qualifying in Italy. And they are a side who are known for their defence, but they do have the ability to provide the goal threat when necessary. Ada Hegerberg was in their team back in 2011, which reached the final when she was 15 years of age. Of course, she's back in the Norway squad and should be playing against Northern Ireland when they kick off their senior campaign tomorrow night. She played alongside her sister Ondrine in the under-19 teams. Some very good players as well came through for Norway. Just the effort from Birkelund, which was beyond Løvaas. Maria Thorisdottir, now of Manchester United. Mara Mjelde, we've mentioned. Ingrid Isaacson, who went on to score that famous winning goal against Germany in the European Championships in 2013, which ended their long unbeaten streak in the tournament. And they all came through initially at the under-19 level to just give you an indication of the pathway for young players. Long way to go for all of these on show today before they can become established international stars at the senior level, but they all seem to be on the right lines. Now, this has the look of a very tight game. And if it's level at the end of 90 minutes here, we would have extra time and possibly penalties. Tamberg. Only 2 attempts on goal so far, both from the French and both off target. Free kick given for the challenge by Bernate. The order is over it once again. Norway win a corner. They are often something to behold when they try and crowd the goalkeeper, and they scored from a corner in their opening game against England. Jorda with a good delivery in, but it's a good header away by Rastokle. Pettersson. And Rastokle, I think, has stayed down. And there will be some treatment here for the French captain. Going to be a busy afternoon for the French defenders. There is real height in this Norwegian team. Although they scored from a short corner against Sweden, catching them out with a thunderous shot from Ode Johansson from long range. But Jade Rastokle is just undergoing the usual checks here. It was a good leap from her, but it was a long way down as well. Rastokle is seemingly okay to continue. It's a busy time for this French team. They've also qualified for the Under-20 World Cup due to their efforts in 2019. 4 European teams will be heading to Costa Rica next month. Spain, the Netherlands and Germany. They were the final 4 3 years ago in Scotland. And the French will play Nigeria, Canada and South Korea in the group stage. Rastokle is back on the field. Fink. Now Pettersson. Longer from Fink this time, looking for the pace of Birkelund. satisfied with the start they've made here. France have been a side who have offered a real goal threat throughout the tournament, but nothing on target so far. French now looking to break. Balouli quickly on to Mouchon, but a good challenge. Peterson coming across, and we have the game's first corner. Sandrine Ringlet. I believe this would always be a tough game, and it's turning out to be just like that so far. It's worked short. Balouli. Double coverage for her, but she's wriggled away from the first challenge. Benate. But again, it breaks down, and Norway are urged to vacate the penalty area as quickly as possible. Here is Rastokle. And that's good pressure from Kaivak. All the way back to Marquez. Fontaine. Balouli. Looking for Ben Yahia, but beaten to it by Serbo, but Ben Yahia robbing Deerdal. Serbo, who was heading forward on the overlap, then had to readjust and came in with a very timely challenge. Bronstadt with the clearance. Benate. Tricky feat in a confined space, but it's Kaivak who comes away with it. Bronstadt. On back well by Batala, but there was a foul on Tamberg, and a yellow card will be shown. Faustine Batala of Saint-Etienne, the first French player into the book in her first game of the tournament. And she was late, and catching Tamberg somewhere on the ankle, which will always interest the referees. Jorda. Now Peterson in behind, looking for Kaivak. Rastokle comes across, and Marquez is able to gather. And the French record is excellent in this tournament. This is their fourth semi-final. They've also been runners-up on 4 occasions to go with their 5 titles. And never seem to lose out in the group stage. And their World Cup record is fairly decent. Runners-up in 2016. When it was played in Papua New Guinea, they lost to North Korea in the final. Played in Port Moresby. And they've also reached the semi-final on 3 other occasions. Clairefontaine remains a factory of talent, which generations of French teams continue to benefit from. Serbo, we know, can throw it long. She was looking for the shorter option. Now it's in towards Tandberg. And it's a corner kick, and we will see here if Norway put half a dozen players almost on the goal line to try and create havoc for the goalkeeper. It has been a tactic they've used so far. Bronstad is moving right in front of Marquez, but possibly on this occasion they are trying something different. Jorda will take it right into the 6-yard area. Good claim by Marquez. That was going in. And that sort of delivery has been key to Norway's success so far. And Marquez clung on in the midst of a very crowded penalty area. Now Fontaine has lost out, but it breaks kindly for Seven. Rastokle. And Seven. Oh, it's been given away cheaply, straight to Kaivak. Tandberg in support. Kaivak will try and take on Helovan, but it's a good challenge. Serbo is forward once again. Tandberg has support this time, but the shot is charged down from Dierdal. Ruchon flicks forward, and it's all the way back to Panekstein. Neither goalkeeper has had a shot to save so far. Marquez called into action with the corner a few moments ago. At the moment, Spain no closer to knowing who they'll be playing in the final. Sweden had a real go in the second half after conceding today just after half-time, and Spain were clinging on. Once again, Spanish age group team is prospering in the UEFA tournament, and that's something we see on so many occasions. Evelina Duljan was sent off for Sweden early today, one of their key players. Baluli. France here looking to build some pressure. Batala. Bernier here. Managing to keep the ball in play, but Serbo comes across, and she's been a shadow throughout the first half. Something more than a shadow at times, and she does enough there. Pedersen. Again, it's that lofted ball looking for Kaivak over the top. Fink. Norway do have Iris Almost-Dottir in reserve. Scored 6 in 5 qualification games. 2 more here against Germany. You wonder about her state of fitness as she's not starting the game. Birkelund, her replacement. Broken up by Baluli. Batala. Oh, that's given away to Tanberg, and it was a rush challenge on the edge of the penalty area. Batala already on a yellow card. And her heart must have been in her mouth there, but it's a free kick for Norway, and I think the message is one more. That was a very similar challenge to the one which led to the yellow card. Faustine Balata remains on the field, and Norway have this free kick. Ines Marquez sorting out the wall. Sina Bronstadt of Rosenberg is over it. And Bronstadt or Jorda are the two Norwegian players over this. And will a set piece crack open what has been a very tight game so far? Bronstadt curls it, the wall does its job. Jorda. And it's headed away by Rastokle. Now Ben Yahia. And the French committing more fouls so far. They've had more shots as well, although that was the first Norwegian effort. Seven. The service towards players like Benate and Banyahir has been fairly patchy so far. Serbo. Norway have the throw-in. Kaibag was looking for the early delivery. In the end, when she does get it, it's quickly given away. Kabida. Now Mouchon. She's away from Pettersen. But she'll accept the corner. France do have that pace on the counter-attack, but although there have been a number of crosses into the penalty area so far, neither side has really had the support in the centre to try and capitalise on them. No nonsense from the referee. Swinger is met by Tanberg. Now Kaibag. Tanberg is streaking down the centre. Kaibag spots her, then tries to take on Kabida. And it's only a throw-in. Serbo will take it. Fink. Pettersen. That's a good leap from Hellevat. She missed that. There was plenty of room behind her for Kaibag to try and exploit. Now Fink. Lovas. stronger from Fink this time. Berkelund pulling wide to the right, and Seven has to come across and deal with her. Plays for Rodez in the second tier in France. Lovas looking for Tanberg. It's eventually cleared away by Rastoclé, but it was rather sliced. Serbo just miscontrolling and maybe mindful of her yellow card as she tried to follow up. So as a result, Balouli will clear downfield, but she can't find Mouchon, but it's quickly won back by Kabida. And another through ball comes to nothing. That's been the story of the half for both teams. Garissa has seen her side nullify so much of what France have tried to create. Patterson. Now Fink. Lovas. Sven stepping out, there's room in behind her, Yorda. That's a good challenge from Fontaine. And you hear trying her luck on the left. Seven. It was helped on by Mouchon, but she was the furthest player forward. Fink. By Fontaine, but only briefly. Here is Berkelund. And the flag is raised for offside against Mouchon, who had come back having been the furthest player forward. And the Norwegian fans in good voice. Will probably be the happier of the two sides as we head towards half-time. Although they won their group, they may be considered underdogs in this tie, and Garissa said pre-match that in terms of individual talent, France may have the edge, but it's all about the organisation, and her team have been very organised. She will be hoping that her team can just find something from somewhere as we enter a minimum of 2 more minutes. Both teams maybe settling in for a long afternoon here. Yet to see a shot on goal, on target rather. Fontaine in towards Ben Yahia. Bronstadt. No Lovas. Bronstadt. Yorda. Benate. And that's a good ball by Luli. Serbo has to be careful here. Balouli will try and take it to the byline, but Serbo with some excellent defending. And the French do have talented individuals, but it's the Norwegian organisation which has had the edge so far. Patterson. cut out. Here is Ben Yahia. And it's Sandberg who comes back to make the challenge. Now that's half-time. Very competitive, but very few chances so far in Carvina. And it's been a case of the French individual skills being overcome by Norwegian defensive resolve so far. Neither side has really created a clear-cut chance. And so at half-time, it is Norway 0, France 0. And welcome back to Carvina. Goalless at half-time between France and Norway in the second semi-final of the UEFA Women's Under-19 Championship. Spain beating Sweden by a 1-0 earlier on today. And the change is made in attack for Norway at the start of the second half. And it's their main striker, Iris Ommersdottir, who has come on to replace Ina Björklund. So whether there is an issue about Ommersdottir's ability to play 90 minutes, we will have to wait and see, but there is the prospect here of a second half plus extra time. And it's France who get the second half underway, wearing the dark blue shirts, playing from left to right and penalised in the opening seconds. Handball there by Baluli. And so Norway have a more familiar look in attack now. If it was an experiment to try Björklund rather than Ommersdottir, it has been jettisoned after 45 minutes. Björklund barely had a pass, in fairness to her, and that's given away by Bronstadt. It's the first half of sporadic French pressure and resolute Norwegian defence at times. Banyahia. Batelard playing the 1-2. Now Fontaine. Rarely had a chance to get forward during the first half. Baluli. She's lost out. Ommersdottir, who scored 6 goals in 5 games in qualification. And the shot from Banyahia is saved by Panek Stoin, but it will go down. It's the game's first shot on target from the Lyon player. Panek Stoin, who has been an ever-present throughout qualification and this tournament, able to deal with it. Pettersson. And now Fink. Pettersson again. France have been very happy for Norway to have the ball in that sort of area. There's been no real press from them. Ommersdottir will give Norway more of a focal point in attack now, so Tandberg can pull into the wider area. Now it's brought forward by Kabida. Baluli, and it's over the top. But it's better from France coming forward. Nazreen Baluli, who scored that goal against Spain in the final game in the group, does have the ability to let fly from long range. Pettersson was hurried there, but Fontaine ultimately playing a ball which was a difficult one for France to try and recycle, and the free kick conceded by Batelard, who is taking a chance here on a yellow card. Now Batelard just pulling back Dieradal, and no free kick given this time, but there was that subsequent challenge in the first half on Bronstadt, which resulted in a Norwegian free kick, and On another day, that could have been a second yellow, and she could have been off. France already missing Margot Véron, their right back, due to suspension. Fontaine. Balouli again. Louvas under pressure. Balouli just carrying the ball behind, and it's a goal kick. Sandrine Ringler has been working in this area for the French Federation for a long time, so she is very adept at picking up the strengths and weaknesses of young players. Of course, it's all about overall development, but in a situation like this, there is a game there to be won and a trophy to be picked up ultimately. Bagnaia here. Mouchon was closed down by Pettersson. There was a heavy fall there initially for Benate, but she looks to be okay. Another attack fizzles out for the French. Hegarisa has worked with some of the best and played with some of the best. This time last year she was preparing the Great Britain team to play in the Olympics in Tokyo. She was the interim coach of England following the departure of Phil Neville last year. Serena Wiegman, of course, is now in charge, and they will kick off Euro 2022 later on today. Omarsdottir. Tamberg gets a good ball in, it's deflected in! It's an own goal! And Norway take the lead. And it's an unfortunate moment for Eloise Seven. A lack of communication at the back. And Norway with the breakthrough in what's been such a tight game. Seven committed at the near post, diverting the ball beyond Marquez. And France must come from behind in this game. It was the ball in from Tamberg, and Omarsdottir was lurking. Seven felt she had to play it, and in doing so, she took out Marquez, and the ball squirted into the back of the net. And we are yet to see a Norwegian player have a shot on target, but they are ahead. Helouan. France were behind briefly against Spain on Sunday. As the shot driven in from Benate was optimistic in the extreme. And Eloise Seven with a moment she won't want to reflect on. And this should set us up for an intriguing second half now. Do Norway try and sit on their lead, and how will the French respond? Brunstad, helped on by Tamberg, and in the end Fontaine with the clearance. And Norway now in a position where they can take their time. Omarsdottir. The ball somehow stayed in play, but France do have the free kick. Just the presence of Omar Startier almost created the pressure which led to the own goal. There's a slip there from Clay as she cleared downfield. Norway here may just be scenting a second, and that would surely seal it, even at this stage in such a tight game. But France do have a free kick here themselves. Spain scored in the 51st minute against Sweden earlier on today. Norway benefiting from the own goal in the 52nd minute. Fontaine with the run into the penalty area, but Alex Stein right behind the cross. Now Pedersen. Away now in a position where a clean sheet sends them through to the final. Having lost their opening game to England, if they can complete a trio of Germany, Sweden and France, that would be very impressive indeed, with potentially Spain to come. Good challenge from Clay, but Norway here in the position to break themselves with Kaibak. Serbo onside into Omar Startier, but the challenge comes in from Seven, but it will be a corner. Clever play from Norway. They all know what they're about. And they are such a hard-working team that when they do get the ball in this sort of area, they always seem to have the energy to get players forward. And with Omar Startier there in the second half, they do have more of a threat, and Seven aware of that once again. Marquez is calling for support. Once again, Norway have placed somebody right in front of her. Bronstad drifting the ball in. Marquez has lost it this time. It's kept alive. Pedersen on the stretch. Almost breaks for Jorda. And eventually it is scrambled clear. Now Baluli. Benate in the centre for the French. Good covering though from Serbo. She's had an excellent game despite the yellow card. And Baluli there. Almost too quick for the counter-attack. And there will be a change very soon from the French. Judith Coquet will be coming on. Started all three of the group games, scored in the games against the Czech Republic and Italy. And the Montpellier attacking midfielder will be on very soon. And Norway have been the much more proactive side since scoring the opening goal. They have not retreated in the slightest. Serbo. Little break for Kaibak. She is closed down by Helleland, but Norway keep the pressure on. And even though it's a defensive situation, France are making the change, and it's Batelard who has been on that yellow card and taking one or two chances, who comes off. And Coquet will replace her in midfield. And I think the fact she is really walking that tightrope is one of the main reasons she was taken off. Rastoclet with the clearance. Jorda. Deerdal almost opened up for the shot, but she was closed down by Kabida. And Fontaine can bring the ball clear. Benate. So little of her getting forward so far, and we won't there. Long from Norway once again. Tamberg coming short and drawing the free kick from Baluli. And France have not really come to terms with the concession of that own goal so far. Free kick is pumped long once again. Good leap, good clearance from Rastoclet. And it's Fontaine who can now bring the ball forward, but once again the covering from Norway has been excellent, and France have had so little time on the ball in attacking areas. Benate. Coquet was closed down there by Fink. Norway now have a firm grip on this game. Baluli. Rastoclet. Relevant. It's been given away. Jorda. Almost Dartier. The bodies and the challenges go flying there. Banya here. And she had support from Coquet. Benate could deliver a cross here. She does, and it's cut out well by Bronstadt. It will be a corner. Banya here was arriving at pace at the near post, and Bronstadt was aware of that. Only a third corner for France. Baluli delivers, and it's a free header towards goal from Saven, looking to score at both ends. But on this occasion, it's wide of the mark. Norway, without a shot on target at the moment, heading through to the final. Nice breaks for Banya here, but she used her hand, although she disagrees, and it will be a free kick. Norway have had the better of France in recent games in the Euros. In 2018, Sophie Haug scored the only goal. Norway reached the semi-finals, and in 2016, Katrin Jorgensen got the 1-0 winner in a match which saw Hawa Sissoko sent off. It's 19 years since France beat Norway in this sort of competition, and at the moment that run is going to be extended. Good defending from Rastoclé to Rob Kajbak. Long from Helevan, but too long for Benate. Well, it's won well by Mouchon, who's been quiet in the second half, but she robbed Pettersson there. Benate waiting in the centre, but the cross is beyond her and Ben Yahia. But Ben Yahia's got support from Fontaine, and it's a covering challenge by Bronstadt. There were half-hearted appeals for a penalty from some of the French players, but it's only a corner. Bronstadt got the ball, but there's some doubt as to whether she got the final touch, but corner kick has been given. Baluli will swing this one in. Seven, one of the players on the edge of the area, short in the end to Benate to open out the angle for Baluli. A deeper cross in this time, and it's claimed by Panagstoy. She looks to quickly orchestrate the breakaway by finding Kajbak, but Norway have the throw in. And there are changes for Norway. And Oda Johansson, who scored the winning goal in that match against Sweden, is one of the players who was coming on. Tamberg is the first player withdrawn. Gura Ruhn will also come on, and although Serbo has had a good game, she is on that yellow card, and that's possibly a sensible change at this stage. Ruhn comes on for the fourth successive game. And Johansson has had one start and now 3 appearances from the bench. And the goal, which meant so much against Sweden. Tamberg, a fine game, but maybe more prosaic talents needed in midfield now, with a quarter of the game to go. Johansson has slotted in on the left-hand side. And Baluli makes way for Madeleine Yetna for France. Yetna of Dijon. She's been another player who has now made 3 of or 4 appearances here from the bench. Both teams can make 5 changes in 90 minutes. Rastoclé, Helevan. And a flick from Benate. She's tried 1 or 2 of those and they've rarely come off. Now Kajbak. She forces the hurried challenge from Helevan. Johansson with the throw-in, and now she receives it back. Almost dot here. Jorda. Good ball as well, Rowan. It's flicked on by Dierdal, but Seven will shepherd the ball behind. But at the moment, Norway have France exactly where they want them. A long way from their goal, and a goal down. France have only failed to reach the final once, going out in the group stage in 2018 in the last 4 Euros. But they've not looked like scoring so far in this UEFA Women's Under-19 Championship semi-final. The leap there from Jorda, but the push in the back from Helleland, and Norway again have the opportunity just to slow things down. Pettersson is over the free kick. Long looking for Homosdottir. And the flick on is gathered by Marquez. It would be generous to say that was Norway's first attempt on target. Ronstadt continuing to work hard. Now Koke. Rastokle. And Seven. Now Fontaine. Norway just dropping deeper, but they do that as a unit. And they do have the players with pace to spring forward, as Homosdottir almost did there with the help of Dierdal, but it was won back by Helleland. And Yetna unable to keep the ball in play. Hikarisa once again has set her team up superbly. Yetna. And the flag's up for offside. We are now inside the final 20 minutes. And the French just looking for something to try and force extra time here, and some worried looks on the bench. Penningstoyn with the clearance. Yetna. Now Seven. Fontaine. Norway yet to be caught offside. They rarely venture forward in such numbers, but at the moment they are doing enough in this game. Seven. Koke. That's another free kick, and France are giving away a number of these in situations which just slow the game down and break things up when they're looking to try and create some sort of momentum. They have so much attacking talent, but so far one shot on target, and that was a fairly tame effort from Ben Yahia into the midriff of Penningstoyn. Here is Koke, found by Ben Yahia. And again, it's a good challenge. Jorda. All the way back to Penningstoyn. And the clock keeps ticking for the French. One in the air by Koke. Here is Jorda. And the captain for Norway has had a superb game. alongside Bronstedt. A double pivot in midfield. Deerdal. Won that well by Fontaine, but this time it's Rowan who comes back just to ensure that the thought of a breakaway for the French was a fleeting one. Seven. Rastoclet. The French preparing 2 more changes. Lona Ribadera will be coming on, their top scorer during qualification. And Chloe Nella is the other player. Nella plays for Paris FC. Venya here is one of the players going off, and it's just not happened for her. Kabida is the other player withdrawn, and Ribadera, another Paris FC player, had an excellent season, 15 appearances and 4 goals to help her team into the Women's Champions League next season. Kaibag. A challenge coming in from Helevan, but it's another throw-in for Norway, deep inside French territory. Ribadera scored 4 times in 6 games in qualification for France. Also scored against Italy here, and they need a goal here. Almost Dartier had hold of Coquet's shirt, but the shot from Yorda was sliced well wide. Hegarisa and their backroom team planning for the closing stages. Confirmation of those French changes just going through at the bottom of your picture. Only here, a player with a big reputation, but she's found it difficult to get into the game here at times. But she's not alone in saying that in the French team. Bronstedt. Now Kaibag, just unable to gather at the first attempt, but she's quick enough to keep the ball in play. And then she wriggles away from Helevan, back to Yorda, and it's blocked well inside the area by Fontaine. Helevan. And Norway, even though they've not had a shot on target, look the more likely goal scorers here, should there be another goal in the game. There's more cohesion about them in the attacking third. Nice play there from Kaibag, but the shot was blocked by Nella in the end. Real day of frustration for Sandrine Ringlet. It has been another golden summer for France's age group teams. But it doesn't look as though this team will be making the final. But they do have a free kick here. Rastoclet going short to Helevan. Bouchon, and the cross allowed to travel a long way. Yetna, Fontaine, Yetna again, Nella. Nella's shot, side netting. Hegerisa able to breathe a bit more easily. But again, Panikstoin not worked. And we are in the 80th minute, almost Dartier. Sumptuous first touch from her. Kaibag is in support. Almost Dartier maybe thought about going all alone. And France were able to clear. Seven. Bernate losing out to Bronstadt. Kaibag. And all Hellebang can do is hack the ball out of play under pressure from almost Dartier. And we have 10 minutes to play. Almost Dartier was looking for the free kick, but it's quickly forward towards Ribadera. It's back to Panikstoin. And that tells you just how tight this game has been, and just how little both goalkeepers have had to do. Marquez was beaten by a central defender, Seven. And that's the headline moment from this game so far. And they will be wondering if their journey this summer is about to come to an end. May well do in the Czech Republic, but a number of them will be heading off to Costa Rica for the Under-20 World Cup. And due to the implications of the pandemic, none of the players who qualified the team will be involved. Ribadera. Good challenge from Jorda to close down Nella, but it breaks to Mouchon. And that's a good cross in, and what a save by Panikstoin. It's her first save of the game, and it could be the save to send Norway into the final. Clever ball in from Mouchon. And Ribadera must have thought she'd equalise, but Panikstoin just got something in the way. Ribadera can't believe it. Corner kick. It's deep again. Seven is up there. But it's cleared as far as Mouchon. And this time Norway clear, but there's nobody anywhere near the halfway line. And suddenly, France created the opportunity. Now Fontaine. And they will hope that changes the course of the game in the closing stages. And the referee is just growing tired of the time wasting and is making the point that time will be added on. And Norway will be happy to see the ball in the stand once again. But Selma Panikstoin got across well, and that star jump diverting the ball away, possibly off her shoulder in the end, but when you're a goalkeeper in that situation, anything will do. Bronstadt conceding the free kick, and belatedly France are applying the sort of pressure that they've needed throughout this second half. Seven. Now Fontaine. Benate. And she goes for goal, and Penningstoyn just happy to see it pass beyond that far post. France are claiming the corner. Good movement on the shot from Benate, but it was always swinging away from goal. Kaibag, almost dot here. Jorda. And Norway will be just looking for distance with all of their clearances now. Helevan will take the throw in. 5 minutes to play. Seven at the moment. Her own goal is sending Norway to the final. Nelle. Fontaine. Nelle again. Yetna providing the width on the left. Now Koke. Oh, it's a loose ball and it's cut out, and Norway just trying to get players forward. It's Kaibag just biding her time, and in the end, Helevan concedes the throw-in. Ronstad will take it. Aim for almost dot here. Rastroclay will go back to Marquez. Nelle. Now Koke. Helevan in behind, looking for Ribadera, but this time Penningstoyn is able to make the claim. Norway inching towards their 5th final, but their first for 11 years. And there is a change being made here, and it's Irene Deerdal who will be replaced by Stina Brekken. So a straight swap in midfield, and maybe in the interest of Deerdal to get off as quickly as possible to avoid more added time. Brekken of Vålerenga scored her first senior goals earlier this month. Norway, of course, play in a summer season to avoid the ravages of winter. Fontaine. Run, looking to keep up with her, and in the end, corner kick. And it's everybody back for Norway now. Corner kick, looking for Yetna. She may have taken the ball away from Rastroclay. The player who has just come on, Brekken, just sending the ball out of play. And we are in the 89th minute. Benate goes down looking for the free kick, but all France have is a throw-in. Mouchon. And it's a free kick for France, conceded by Johansson. And there are complaints from Jorda. And in fact, the holding on there was from Pettersson, and she can have no real complaints. And it's a free kick, which France have to get right. Jorda and Johansson are in the wall. Fontaine is over it. Panagstoin looking to cover the angles. And in the 90th minute, Fontaine delivers the free kick, and the referee says, wait for the whistle, try again. There was an interesting challenge inside the area there. Ribadera went flying, but play had already been called dead. Delivered by Fontaine into the near post, maybe hit the outside of the post, but it's gone behind. She was trying to catch out the goalkeeper, and it was curled in and did clip the outside of the post. Panagstoin just stepping away from that area for a second, and Fontaine tried to catch her out. And there will be a minimum of 4 more minutes. And they will be very long minutes for Norway, the way this game is heading at the moment. Mouchon. Cleared away by Fink. Another player who's had a fine game for Norway. Fontaine. Yetna. Back towards Fontaine again. She's onside, but the ball's out of play. And 1 or 2 prayers are being offered up from the Norwegian bench. Norway have played this game superbly in the second half since the own goal. France with 1 clear-cut chance. Now Benate almost found Ribadera. Neller. Here is Yetna. Still time. Cleared away by Fink. Almost Dottir looking for support. High towards Kaibag. Seven. And now Koke. Hellevan. Mouchon. Johansson doesn't make the challenge, and in the end it's sent behind by Bronstad. It's a corner. Johansson was just trying to shepherd there, and in the end Mouchon was able to fire the ball in. Well, it's France's 7th corner. Norway have had just 2. All the height is forward now for the French, including Rasterclay, their captain. But again, it hits the post. It's loose inside the area. And goodness me, the French almost sneak an equaliser in bizarre fashion. Fontaine again. Fontaine with another cross in, and this time it's volleyed across the area. Fontaine will keep the ball alive. Hellevan. And as far as Neller. Rasterclay. Almost Dottir doing her job, but that corner kick almost mishit by Fontaine, but it beat everybody and came back off the post. Bronstad with the challenge. Now forward from Marquez. The goalkeeper on the halfway line. Kaibag clears. Almost Dottir looking for Kaibag on the breakaway. Will she head to the corner flag, or will she go for goal? Kaibag continues, delivers the ball all the way across. And in the end, it's a throw-in. But credit to her for trying to finish the game off rather than manage the clock. And we have played the 4 minutes of added time. And that is it. It is all over. And Norway are in the final. They have won this game without a shot on target. But the own goal from Eloise Saven, 7 minutes into the second half, has decided the game. Saven is distraught. And Norway just about hung on in the end. Twice, very late on in the game, Arline Fontaine hit the post with set pieces, but Sandrine Ringlet sees her team defeated. And Norway continue to be the underdog story. And they're in the final, full time. Norway 1, France 0.